He types the name into her computer.
Right. I have it here. It says she drives a motorhome?
Yes.
And you haven't heard from her since August 26th?
Correct. I was hoping perhaps you'd found out something more.
Doesn't look like it. We'll continue to keep an eye out for the vehicle.
His tone is dismissive, much like Officer Franklin had been when I filed the report. I don't know why I thought a visit here would have a different result. Maybe a bit more urgency, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case. I get it. My sister is a bit of a nomad, roaming the continent, often staying off the grid, but she would always let me know where she'd be and for how long. Exactly what she did this time. Except she was coming home. She said she'd be there on Monday. Only 2.5 hours to get from Libby to Cranbrook, British Columbia. It's not like she had a long way to go. I know my sister. If she had run into any trouble causing a delay, or even in the unlikely event something changed her mind about visiting, she would have let me know. Unfortunately, my gut feeling Pippa is in trouble doesn't go very far with law enforcement. I can't really blame them. From what I understand, quite a few people go missing in these mountains. Exposed to the elements. So they're not going to waste resources on a woman who travels in her home. Not unless I have something more concrete to give them. Which is why I'm here. My boss wasn't happy with the short notice I'd be taking time off, but that can't be helped. My bread and butter is research, so I'm not entirely unprepared. I know what to look for. I have every camping app downloaded on my phone, and I have the name of someone who might be able to help me. If only he'd call me back. I've already left a couple of messages. If I haven't heard anything by tomorrow, I'll chase him down. I'll do what I have to do to find Pippa.
Fletch. The punk is squirming, but I have my knee in the middle of his back with my full weight on it. I pull a few zip ties from my pack and strap his wrists together. Then I sit him up, right next to the young bear he shot with his goddamn hunting rifle. I prop the rifle up against the bear as well. Next, I pull out my phone and take a bunch of pictures while the kid is swearing at me. Every time he tries to get up, I kick his feet back out from under him. It's easy for me to tune him out. I've had lots of practice. My hearing has gotten very selective after years of living in virtual silence. The only thing that penetrated it was the rifle shot earlier. It took me a few seconds to register what I heard. Then I was on my feet and aiming straight for the excited laughing I heard down the trail. No more than kids. Unfortunately, the second guy took off running while I was taking this one to the ground. It takes me a half an hour to get the kid and the bear back down to the trailhead, where my truck is the only one parked now. Catching my breath, I take my phone out. Only one bar, but enough to dial out. Sheriff's office. Ewing, Fletch Boone here. I'm up by the Granite Ridge trailhead parking lot. Got a dead bear with a bullet hole, the rifle that shot it, and the punk who fired it. Second kid got away. You want to come pick this one up? Guess it was a slow day because less than a half an hour later, his cruiser rolls onto the parking lot, followed by a pickup. The kid loudly complains about his rights as Ewing hoists him to his feet and tucks him in the back of his vehicle. The deputy stepping from the pickup is already poking at the bear. Trust me, he's dead, I tell him dryly. Want it? Ewing asks as he walks up. He peeks in the back of my truck where I left my bow and the rest of my gear. Me? No. Still have plenty of bear from last season. Got a tag for a bighorn this year. Bighorn, no shit. Those are hard to come by. Especially for bow hunting, I add. Tried every year for the past 6, and this is the first tag I got my hands on. I only hunt with a bow. Don't like guns. I may wear one, but I don't like it. It would have to be an extreme circumstance before I pull my weapon, let alone fire it. Instantly, my mind goes back to the spring, when my boss had the barrel of a gun pressed to the back of his head. That counted as an extreme circumstance, but even knowing it would be Jonas's life otherwise doesn't stop the sour burn in my gut. It was James who pulled the trigger, but we all carried that kill.